This has been a closer look.
Thanks for watching.
This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers 40th Anniversary Autobot.
Now you might pray to God, y'all, but I like Lucifer best of all. Sunday school is a place for fools. It's hot in hell, but the devil's cool. Don't keep Satan waiting. Don't keep Satan waiting. So don't just sit there, join the club. Sell your soul to Beelzebub.
Hey, everybody. It is I, Count Jackula, your favorite satanic streamer, here once again for a satanic stream. So here, let sin begin. And the sin, there are a couple of sins I'm looking to start out with. One of which is Marvel Universe. So talk about the Marvel Universe and how that cinematic Marvel Universe is going, and the overall consensus is not great. You know? Even I, who am a big Marvel fan, have got to say, yeah, it's been a little... Something's been missing. You know, like, I think something's been missing. And I don't exactly know what it is. And because I wanted to come on here and talk about something not serious before talking about anything serious, we're going to talk about that. Because, like, there have been a few... Marvel's had a few misfires in its recent... arc. What do they call it? Series, not series, but arc 7, arc, whatever they call it. Post Infinity War, or more specifically post Endgame, they've been having trouble starting the next iteration. You know, what, goddamn it, what is it that they called them? We were calling them something. It was like, it wasn't season, but it was like series something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know, but we had the like Secret Wars. Yeah. The last good movie series Marvel did was Iron Man. I would disagree with that, man. If you think Iron Man was like the last good series they did, you're stuck in the past. I'm sorry. You gotta... Come on. You didn't think Endgame was great? You didn't think Infinity War was great? So we've had a bunch of false starts. You know, we've had the Eternals. That didn't really kick off very well. So they kind of scrapped that. They had the Kang Dynasty, and that all fell apart because of the John Majors controversy. Yeah, phases. That's right. It was phases. So the current phase is just a mess, you know, for things that were both within and without of their control. You know, there were definitely like a few times when it felt like, why are we doing this? You know, my favorite example of I don't know why you decided to make this movie was Marvels. Not because Marvels was bad, but because within Marvels, they hint at this plot that happens between Marvels and the first Captain Marvel movie, where Captain Marvel, like, destroys a planet. And I was like, I want to see that movie. Why didn't you show me that? Why didn't you make that movie? That should have been the second movie. That should have been Captain Marvel 2. Why wasn't it? You know, all the stuff with the Kang Dynasty kind of fell apart for obvious reasons. Um, all the stuff with the multiversal timelines also kind of fell apart, or rather, actually, better than fall. More accurately than falling apart, they resolved it with Loki season 2. So like that's resolved. You know. Hi, kitty. Like after that, anything having to do with Kang was going to be like anticlimactic. You know. But there's a bunch of stuff that they've done that I felt were good directions, but they didn't go in them. Like, for example, I thought it would have been a really good idea to build up some of the new characters. Cap is gone. Like Steve Rogers is gone. We're gonna have a new Captain America. Focus on his movie. Maybe focus on having another Captain Marvel movie. That goes a little bit. That makes her a little bit more of a character. Because she needs it. Guardians of the Galaxy is now over. So, you either make another Guardians movie with the new Guardians, which I think that would be a mistake. At least at the moment. I think that'd be a mistake. But we've got Doctor Strange that we can do something with, because we've already teased shit at the end of his last movie. So we could do Doctor Strange 3. We could do the new, like, I definitely think doing another Captain America movie is a good idea, have it with the new Captain. Anthony Mackie is the new Captain America. Falcon's the new Captain America. So giving him his solo movie is a great idea. I think that's going to. I think that's a great idea. But some of the like more ancillary. Well, let me put it this way. Like, I'm really honestly am probably going to consider the new Captain American movie the real start, the start of the next phase. Like, that's going to be the real start of the next phase. It makes a lot of sense why they've had so many like false starts, just because of all the shit that's gone down. And now that Blade has been postponed, if not canceled, which I'm going to be totally honest, I was like, I don't think you've done the I don't think the MCU has done the groundwork to give us Blade yet. It should have. But let me put it this way. If instead of Blade the movie, they made a Blade show and tied it in with like Werewolf by Night and Moon Knight, that I think would have legs. That would have legs. Like, you could do that. And it'd be like, oh, okay, so like the freaky shit is gonna be on TV. The vampires, the werewolves, the Dark Marvel universe. We're gonna put that on TV. And while they're part of the like greater Marvel universe, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. All the individual like Marvel things, particularly the films, have got to start referencing shit that happened in some of those shows, especially Moon Knight. Like, a fucking city almost got leveled in Moon Knight. An ancient Egyptian god arose in Moon Knight. Why is Doctor Strange not there? Was he doing something else? You know, because that guy could teleport halfway across the globe in an instant. You know, I understand that having like Doctor Strange show up in the middle of Moon Knight might have stolen Moon Knight's thunder, but like, he needs to do something. You know, he needed to do something, even if it's like, oh, he's trapped in another dimension. You know, we could do that, but that would have to be explained in like a Doctor Strange movie at this point. You know, also Doctor Strange is a great character to do shit with in the interim because like he doesn't need to connect to the rest of the Marvel universe. He just doesn't. You know, he comes in and out of the rest of the Marvel universe all the time. Might as well just, okay, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. All right, make a Doctor Strange movie. You know? And we have to stop treating the shows as if they were just their own thing with no connection to the rest of the Marvel universe. That was the thing that eventually like pissed everyone off about like the Defenders and shit. You know, don't do that. Don't make that mistake again. And it looks like they might be, but like right now, the only thing they've really written into the continuity of the shows is WandaVision. And I'm like, could we maybe get back to that? Yeah, the streaming shows seem to be setting up Young Avengers, but then they kind of didn't. Like, they kind of did that at the end of Marvel's, kind of, but I found myself going like, I think people enjoy these characters, but I don't think they're going to go for Young Avengers. You know, like my impression is that is a fine thing to have in the universe, but like as its own thing, not so much. You know, these characters have been, with the exception of like the two characters that they've really built up are Kamala Khan and Hawkeye, the young Hawkeye. Which they did really well. Which kind of confused me about several things, but like Ironheart was not integrated well into Wakanda Forever, in my opinion. Like, she didn't even need to be there. Which pissed me off because I was like, you're introducing a new hero. Like, She does. You're introducing a new hero, and you wrote her in a way that she doesn't even need to be in this movie. What? What? You know. Also, whose movie is this? I feel like the problem is we spent like 10, 15 minutes on Ironheart, which wasn't enough. But as a result, that's 10 or 15 minutes of development we didn't give Shuri. You know what I mean? Like that felt like bad writing. You know, Ironheart is not a bad thing to have, but like the way Wakanda Forever was written, she didn't need to be there. Like you could have just given her a basic introduction, not even put her in a suit, and then just had everyone go like, "Oh, we're gonna get back to that." Yeah, it's the one reason why I'm like, from a writing perspective, like Black Panther was way better than Wakanda Forever. Um, just from like a plot writing perspective, it was Black Panther was basically perfect. Um, but yeah, I kept thinking that like, no, there's shit we could be doing. And I think we're gonna finally start seeing it because we had the pandemic, we had the strikes, we had everything getting in the way of making movies, and the Marvel Universe, I think, absolutely suffered for it. I think, honestly, the Jonathan Majors controversy is going to be a blessing in disguise. Because that was only working so well. Because what are you going to do? The real question was, what are you going to do with Kang that you didn't already do with Thanos? He's just basically, him and Thanos are basically the same, except Kang travels through time, and there are multiple versions of him. I mean, that ups the threat, but as far as like taking the story in a new direction, that's not really going to be it. Oh, I think Blade can be done. I think Blade can be done. I just don't think that the Marvel the cinematic universe is ready for him. It's not in a place where it's ready for him. Like, that's why I was like, it should be a show and it should tie in with Werewolf by Night and Moon Knight. You could build them up and then like do a Dark Avengers movie. But I'm thinking it'd be good to like, all right, so we got this Captain America movie. Let's see what they've got planned. Knowing that I'm pretty sure that this plan is changing. Now, let's see. Let's see. We got Captain America: Brave New World, which is probably essentially the start of the new phase. That's coming out in February. We've got the Thunderbolts, but I am of the opinion that's probably going to be like, that's going to be a bit ancillary. Um, and then and what the fuck? Oh yeah, yeah, they're fucking yeah, clearly the whole like plan for phase 5 is just totally fucked. Yeah, let's see. Marvel Phase 6. Let's see. It's supposed to be a Fantastic Four thing that happens in July. I don't know if that's going through. Avengers Doomsday is supposed to come out in 2026. That might be a little ambitious. Yep. So basically, yeah, looking at this, like, yeah, nobody's got any idea. Nobody knows what the fuck is going to happen, but it's clear that whatever the plan was for phase 6, they've gone back to the drawing board. They've gone completely back to the drawing board. My instinct is going to tell us that the next major thing we hear out of Marvel is that Fantastic Four has been postponed or scrapped. That's the next big news we're going to hear. Because they're gonna have to make an announcement about Fantastic Four unless that movie is basically done already. There's no way. There's no way. Yeah, we got Thunderbolts, but I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm looking forward to Creature Commandos by James Gunn. Like, I'm very much looking forward to Creature Commandos. Hey, kitty. It's Kitty. There's a kitty here. Come in. Yep, there you go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Creature Commandos, like the official start of the James Gunn DCU. Hi, buddy. Hold on, let me deal with this. Yes, you out there in the freaking world, bothering everybody. Like, I don't think that we're absolutely done with Marvel movies or anything like that, but I can definitely tell that we're entering a period where superheroes are going to be kind of passe. And so we're going to be looking for something to fill that void. I know, Father, open the portal the portal into the kitchen where the cat dish is. Good night, Indigo. You take care. Like, I gotta be honest, something that would be super cool, but I don't think is gonna happen is, don't get me wrong, I'm all fired up about Doctor Doom, but I'll be serious. I thought that, and there are reasons maybe why maybe they can't do this. The next major villain needed to be Mr. Sinister. That way we can introduce the X-Men. Any Halloween reviews for us? Nope. Well, I mean, they're vlogs. Vlog plenty of movies. You know, well, horror movies kind of actually are stepping up and filling the void at the moment. You know, they actually kind of are. Yeah, Mr. Sinister would be great. Evil geneticist. You know. What about from Guru? Yeah, he's working on an episode. Might come out. Yeah, we got the MonsterVerse on the rise, so like we'll see how it all goes. You know, like I've gotten to the point where I'm just sort of like, yeah, whatever happens, happens, baby. You know, if the Marvel movies all start sucking, I've got other shit I can do. Yeah, I can even do redo Apocalypse, but I would go with Sinister simply because he is a bad guy that can start relatively small and then get built up. He doesn't have to come on super strong in the beginning. You know, really just has to be like the build up to the X-Men. You know, and you could have like the mutant thing actually be a little bit his fault. You know, because of in his genetic experiments to improve humanity, because he's basically Mangala. He releases the X Factor gene and it starts affecting people. Marvel should have gone on a bit of a hiatus after Endgame, to be honest. I kind of agree. I agree, actually. Like, I think if plans had gone the way they really wanted, it would have been okay, but they didn't. Things didn't go exactly as they wanted. But I'm like, I want a new Moon Knight. I want a new Moon Knight story. I want Oscar Isaac's back as Moon Knight. I want my Daredevil show. I want the new Daredevil show. You know, and I know that they had to go back to the drawing board on that thing, but I want it. You know. I want a new season of She-Hulk. Because that show was for the MCU what the comic was, which was this incredibly entertaining diversion. It can just respond to the rest of the DCU because it was a response and a satire of Marvel Universe to begin with. I don't know what happened in season 2 of Moon Knight. It could still be in production. It could have gotten shit canned. It could have gotten postponed. I have no idea. Did you like that? I loved the Netflix Daredevil show. It's awesome. Like, I'm of the opinion that they should just have just brought that show into continuity with the MCU. At least the first 2 seasons. I think they should bring back Jessica Jones as well. Yeah, I would love to see World War Hulk. That'd have been great. How's Agatha all along going? Good, but not world-shattering. It's good, but it's not like the creative shot in the arm that the universe needed. If you know what I mean. Yeah, She-Hulk should totally get a second season. Yeah, I agree. They should bring back both Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. You know? Like, I'm kind of ridiculous. I thought they should have used Boom by Shaquille O'Neal at some point. You know? You know, but that again, I'm ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. I just would have loved to have seen like Luke Cage like do some insane shit to, you know, to this.
Shiny sharp shooter, but those who try to oh yeah, do what I do. I'm laid back, kicking it with that shot black, jackety yak, over back or get your freaking back crack. With nose to your nose when I roll to my show. That's what happened to the last man that stepped on my toes. Goodness gracious, there's a little bit of what the taste is. I'm off the grandma's house. I gotta pay a visit. Knock knock, knock knock. Who do you think it's the plumber? The plumber. I'm coming to fix the sink and freak the fees. Pull it in the left and I'm done. My lyrics are rugged and rough up like Billy the Goat. Rough, I huff up, puff up. Snuff of a cuss, plus some of me cotton picking. Wowzers, gadgets, wowzers, mixed the puppy. Cowards, watch the style, wicked and wow. Watch my grill, there's no smile. See you later, alligator. I'm a wild crocodile. Like, Used to be like Tom and Jerry. My style is bad. Fat like the ass of Holly Berry. But really, you see me freaker. Style from the dome and the freak shit with a retarded lip. Like I got Down syndrome. Turn up the volume. We fix the magic, can make it style to the tune. Boom! Turn up the volume. We fix the magic, can make it style to the tune. Pardon me now. Check out the way I do it, coming wicked.
You know, but what's my opinion on Hawkeye? I like the character of Hawkeye. I like the Hawkeye show. I even like the girl Hawkeye. We gonna do more with that? Know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, well, we actually had some really good Marvel shows in the beginning. And then we just kind of dropped them. You know, we dropped Hawkeye. We dropped Girl Hawkeye. We haven't done anything new with Moon Knight in a while. You know, I think it's about time we did something with him. You know, I feel like I don't think. I mean, I gotta be honest. Of the Young Avengers, the one I'm least interested in is Young Black Widow. I don't think. I don't think I give a shit. Better or even to Green Arrow. They're two very different characters. Like, you'll do similar shit with them because they're both archers, and so that'll take you to Robin Hood naturally. But like, to me, Green Arrow is best when he's goofy as shit. You know, he's got his boxing glove arrow. Come on. You know, do that. You know, but I feel like I actually felt like Girl Hawkeye was pretty good, and then we kind of didn't do anything with her. And I'm like, it's been like a couple of years, man. Do you maybe want to spin that back up? You know. Okay, probably afraid that the acting will get green egg and hammy. Oh, jeez. Well, there are a lot of things, a lot of like ancillary Marvel products that I actually really liked that I was kind of hoping that they just keep building up, and then they kind of didn't, you know. Like, at least they brought Loki to a good place. Like, that was satisfying. Like, I don't mind building up Agatha and Wiccan and all that, but that's not like, that doesn't feel like big, if you know what I mean. That's not like, oh, I see the direction that the MCU's going in, and it's you know, like, it's not that kind of thing. You know, and I'm saying they need that kind of thing. You know, that's why I'm hoping like the next Captain America movie actually like kind of shows the way forward. You know, we're going to introduce Red Hulk. That's going to be cool. You know, maybe we'll get Leader. You know, like I got. We teased leader and then nothing happened, you know? Yeah, I did know that they're delaying the new Blade movie. That's why we start talking about Marvel, because I was like, yeah, I didn't think it was. Let me put it this way: it's about the right time to redo Blade, but it's not really the right time in the Marvel universe to do a redo of Blade as a movie. I think Blade would be better off as a show that brought together the dark elements of the Marvel shows together. You know, because that's the kind of environment Blade works best in, right? You know, give him that first. Because we don't even know what's going to happen with Spider-Man at this point. You know, and if we don't know where Spidey's going, you know, we're gonna have some problems. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next Captain America movie. That's the one I'm looking forward to. Yeah, let's see what else has been what else has been going on. I hate politics, man, but like I came to an epiphany. You know, I realized, oh, this is all just about a bunch of people who just don't want to have to change their opinions on shit. And someone told those people, hey, you don't have to change with the times. The time should change to you. Which would be nice if that worked, but it doesn't. A society and culture that refuses to change with the times just dies. It just dies. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, we're, you know, possibly looking at the end of American democracy, which is correct. But I think the problem goes even deeper than that. I think the real thing that we're seeing is, oh, America might be over. America might be over. It really could. It really could. America really could come to an end. It will eventually. You know, now's as good a time as any. So we'll see whether or not the culture continues to grow. And if it doesn't, well, that's all she wrote, baby. That's all she fucking wrote. We can't be going backwards. We can't be going backwards. That world doesn't exist anymore. Oh yeah. Well, I'm not worried about the American Empire. American Empire is going to fall no matter what. You know, I'm not worried about empire. Fucking empire. You know? Fucking empire. I give a shit. Just as likely to get me in violence as out of it. Fuck that. Don't need to be keeping that shit up. You know, and with Netanyahu going buck wild, what are we doing? We got our thumbs up our ass at this point. It's sort of like, well, America's lost control, and it's slowly and surely, and it's steadily and surely losing the plot. You know, what do you do in that situation? What do you do in that situation where almost 50% of the people have just completely lost the plot? You know, things fall apart. That's what happens. You know, things fall apart. You know, how do you get all those people back on board? I don't know. Basically, a miracle happens. And it will be a miracle. I don't think a world war would do it. A war wouldn't do it. One election's not do it. The entire culture has got to start going in a different direction, which is what we don't have. Or rather, we have it. It's just that 50% of the people don't want to go along with it. The groping video? Why would that affect anything? There's a groping video? I'm going to assume it's Trump. Yeah, that's not going to affect anything. I don't think that's going to affect anything. You know, don't forget, like this Republican Party will flat out elect pedophiles. Yeah, people that they know are pedophiles. They will just fucking flat out elect them. Yeah, no, there's no anything that could derail anything that is going to give Kamala Harris the edge has already happened. It's already happened. It's already happened, you know, or it hasn't. And we're going to get another Trump administration. That's just the way it is. We're too dug in. Too dug in. The only surprise that could happen would hurt that would have any effect would be to hurt the Harris campaign. That's the only thing that would affect the election at this point. If something damning about Harris came out, anything damning about Trump, they don't care. Those who are still there don't care. The question is not what's going to cause people to stop supporting Trump. The question is how many of them are there really? The only way my faith in America's longevity longevity could be restored is if Harris wins by more than 10 percentage points, which I do not suspect is going to happen. Like that feels like too much to hope for. No regular politics is going to do damage to the Trump campaign at this point. The damage has either already been done or will never happen. We just have to see how the election shakes out, and that's it. If that ain't reason to vote, man, I don't know what is. The only way to stop Trump is for him to lose. I don't. Here's the thing. Even if Trump loses, we'll still have to spend quite a while rooting out Trumpism. You know. Like they're gonna have to the Republican Party is gonna have to pull a Caesar on him. They're gonna have to pull out an Ides March. Like you could just stab the motherfucker until he's dead. What happens if worst case scenario happens and he wins? Oh, America becomes fascist. Officially. We officially become a fascist nation. Voter suppression will get supercharged. Get a huge amount of rocket fuel. Voter suppression gets supercharged. The American economy collapses. An attempt to invade Mexico happens. And if we succeed, that starts World War III. Now, if U.S. goes fascist, that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote, baby. The country tears itself apart. Because when America officially becomes fascist, a few years later, states start to secede. Then you have your second American Civil War. And you got to remember, that's what they want. That's what they want. And they could get it. Yeah, it's Brexit, but with more war. America has to turn this corner, and it's got to do it now. Conservative power has to be curtailed now. It has to be stopped now. If not, well, we're all fucked. I'm fucked. You're fucked. We're all fucked. And the worst part is there's no preparing for it. We're not ready to become a fascist country. No one is. Because that's a cultural problem. That is a cultural problem. I don't know how we're going to get out of that one. We've either already taken the right steps or it's too late. Has to stop now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not the next election cycle. Right now. Do I really think that another Trump administration will be that destructive? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. Yeah, ask Mussolini how fascism went. Not good. I don't want to have to live in the bad times. Not times this bad. Not like this. Not like that. Yeah, it'd be in a sinking boat. It'd just all fall apart. Trump being in charge, that's all she wrote, baby. The America you believed in will have died. And there is the only thing we will have to look forward to is resurrection. Canada's going to be in a bad spot. Canada's going to be in a tough spot. Because the fascists in their own nations will get supercharged. The only people who are going to be able to put up a real effective resistance, ironically, is Mexico. Not because they have the biggest army. They don't. But they will be motivated. And I'll be honest, America will not be. Oh, yeah. Do you truly believe that resurrection can happen for America if shit goes pear-shaped? Absolutely. It happened for Germany. It took a long time, but Germany reunified. The country will split itself apart. If Trump wins, the country will split apart. Because the cultural divide will be too great. Now, it'll take some time. Like, it won't happen overnight. But it will happen. Like, it will probably happen within a generation. Thanks to the nightmares. Hey, you got it, man. Yeah. Well, like I said, that's why it's got to be stopped now. Like I said, we're not just fighting for American democracy. We're fighting for America. And we'll see if there is enough unity. If there's enough unity after this, leading up to the election. If there is, got ourselves some time. But not going to lie, the forces against us are very strong. They're very strong. We live We are living in the age of ignorance and want. And ignorance is really, 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 really strong right now. Ignorance is very strong, but is it strong enough? I don't know. That's why it has to be stopped now. We have to make it so that the Republican Party dies. And if they win the president, if they win the White House, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen without a fight that nobody wants, of a type that nobody wants. Because it will be the lead up to civil war. Woo! Nasty, right? Nasty thinking. But we got to live in the world of reality. And unfortunately, that is a fucking reality. We're staring down fucking the 12-gauge shotgun of history. And it's asking us which way is we going to go? Which way are we going to go? Ooh. Yeesh. I mean, I got my answer. I've had my answer. You know, my answer has been, oh, hell no. Oh, let me say that again. Hell no.
See what's what here? What's going on? With the fans toys. RC.
Oh, man. Fuck it. That's pretty much what I got to say on that. So, vote early, vote often, guys. Yeah, a lot of people would rather choose ignorance. Can't be allowed. Gotta be stopped. You know? And why? Why? This is the most insulting part. Why? Well, because a bunch of people could not culturally get over the fact that they used to be slave masters. Couldn't culturally own, too many people couldn't culturally own up to it. And their churches refused to fucking right that problem. American Christianity's hugest failing is not condemning America for its slavery. And then just fucking buying into it. Just selling them back white indignation. Fuck you. Fuck white Jesus. Fuck white Jesus. Piece of shit. I hate that guy. I'd punch him in the face. I'm surprised they didn't give Jesus blonde hair and blue eyes. They'll do it. You know they'll do it. Yeah, and vote local. We don't need no more shitty sheriffs or shitty legislators or any of that crap. Vote down ballot, definitely. Always. Every time. Yeah, most of them go back to slave ownership if given a chance. Absolutely. They think they'd be on top. Even before the Civil War, slave masters were at the bottom of the economic barrel. It's true. Look it up. Read some fucking history. The South was poor. All these stories about, yeah, well, what if, like, they had gotten France in... For what reason? For how? What was France going to get out of the deal? Money? They didn't have money. All the money was in the fucking North. All the money was in the North. Wasn't going to happen. Well, like France was just going to do the South a solid. International politics don't work that way. If they weren't allied already, they weren't going to ally themselves in the middle of a pointless war. How can a felon run for office but cannot vote? Oh, it's because we got like a two-tier justice system. And it reached its ultimate readout with Donald Trump, a felon running for president, a felon becoming president and then convicted of being a felon. While at the same time, the Supreme Court saying, oh yeah, president's above the law. That's how it happened. By design. If they could have impeached Obama, if they thought that they could just impeach Obama at one point, they'd have done it. But no, but they didn't have the judiciary. They didn't have the Justice Department behind them at that point. Now they do. That's why they have to be sorely defeated at all levels. It's like, nah, you can't. Nah, not screw this country. Screw the Republicans. Destroy them. End them. They have to be politically neutralized. They're just too destructive. It's being a Republican at this point is pathological. It's pathological. It's evil. Voting Republican is evil at this point. It's evil, it's pathological, it's ignorant, and it's greedy. That is a terrible combination of things. There's an awful combination of things. And if you're worried about unity, vote Kamala Harris, Democratic anyway. You know why? They can't be allowed to go on this path. They can't be allowed to go on this path. Grandpa's got to go in a home now. He's not allowed to make decisions for the rest of the family. These guys can't be allowed to make decisions for the rest of the family. They're either too stupid, too old, or too old and stupid. Oh, they want to be a Republican because they've either been a good Christian boy their entire lives or a good Christian kid their entire lives, and they believe that Democrats are the Antichrist, which if Trump's going to be your Jesus, then Dale, yeah, we're the Antichrist. That's the other thing. They're equating their guy with Jesus. The least Jesus, that's what they want Jesus to be. A warrior king, a fascist warrior king. That's what they want. That's what they want. That can't be allowed. That can't be allowed. It's a fight not only against fascism, but religious extremism within our own country. Like Christopher Hitchens was absolutely fucking right. You know, it's going to be liberal democracy versus fascist religion. Absolutely fucking right. I think he said religious fundamentalism, but like, you know, same thing. Liberal democracy versus religious fascism. Booyah. Absolutely goddamn right. You know, he may not known shit about women, and he didn't, but he knew about this. Speaking of thinkers I used to look up to but lost tons of respect for, fucking what's his name? Mr. He's British and he kind of talks like this. And he's a evolutionary biologist. Every like atheist used to like him, used to love him. You know, British guy, white hair, made fun of him on South Park. You know, that shitheel. The minute he said that eugenics would work, I was like, get back to the laboratory and leave everyone else alone. Richard Dawkins. Yeah, that's him. Richard Dawkins. Go back to the lab, Grandpa, and get yourself killed in an experiment. Jesus Christ. We needed to stop asking everybody their political opinions because that's how that shit happens. That's how this shit happens. Yeah, he's a turf asshole. Fuck that guy. I come in and hear, get back to the lab, and I was going to go check out making drugs. Get back to the lab. Yeah. Get back to the lab, Richard Dawkins. Stop bothering people. You know. Eugenics would work. No, it wouldn't. I will point this out every time. Eugenics did not give us the super dog. It gave us the pug. You look at a pug and you tell me that we're not monsters for making it. Yeah, Dawkins said that. He said eugenics would work if we got over, you know, the ill feelings connected with that word. I'm like, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't, for one very simple reason, which is eugenics is saying that humans know better than natural selection, and we don't. We've proven that time and time again every time we fucking dipped our toe into eugenics. What do you think dog breeding is? That's eugenics, baby. And when we do it to cats, it's eugenics. Yeah, eugenics. Inbreeding with fancy words. Yeah, that's what we make. Yeah, eugenics didn't get rid of autistic people. Turns out maybe there's something going on that we don't understand. Eugenics leads to incest, and no one wants incest. Oh, Karens? Oh, no. All Karens are former, like, fucking pick-me girls. They're all former pick-me bitches that no one picks anymore. That's why they're Karens. You know, I'm like, no, eugenics would absolutely not work. We're not smart enough. We don't have a good enough view on genetics. We just don't. I don't know if we ever could. Best to just let nature have its day on that. Eugenics, you think you get Superman, instead you get the British royal family. Yeah, exactly. You get Prince Charles, that's what you get. You look at him and tell me there's a god. You look at him and tell me if selective breeding is a good idea. Oh my god. Oh, we're terrible. We are terrible. Oh, oh my god. I stand by it. I stand by it. Apparently, I've got problems. Oh, man. Thoughts on socialism? Socialism in America is inevitable. It's inevitable. Well, socialism for the people of America is inevitable. I absolutely believe that. It is inevitable. It will happen. We will see a major move forward in our lifetimes. Yeah, look forward to Frankie Frico. Yeah, that's right. You know, it will happen. It has to happen. What will either happen is we can either deliberately go in that direction, which would be the best thing to do, like actually make major steps forward in doing it, like the expansion of the American Health Care Act, expansion of welfare, things like that. Actually demanding that room be given for maternity leave. Paid maternity leave and paternity leave for that matter. Paid parental leave, period. Raise the minimum wage. All sorts of things like that. To do those things on debt forgiveness. To do all of those things. We'll see massive movement towards all those things in our lifetime. One of them will essentially be achieved. You know, it has to. Because two things happens. We either do it deliberately or the economy fucking collapses. And from those ashes, the American people, whether or not they call it socialism, starts demanding it. And providing that becomes the easiest route to political power. I don't know if we'll get universal basic income. I mean, that'd be great. Like, that'd be fantastic. But I don't know if we'll get that. Maybe. That's one I'm not willing to, like, put money down on, if you know what I mean. But don't worry, if you're a socialist and you're not already in like your 70s, you'll see major steps towards that in America in your lifetime. There's no way it doesn't. There's no way it doesn't happen. Because, I mean, even if, and I'm saying this even if there's civil war. Even if there's civil war, it will happen. Because the progressive areas that split off from the reactionary areas, what do you think they're going to do? Of course they're going to start implementing something like that. Why? It's the best bit. It's the best way to also get people to put in taxes for the war machine. Is to give them something else on top of it. And the cost of socialism as opposed to the it's pennies on the dollar when compared to the war machine. Pennies to the dollar. And it has huge returns. Huge returns for a war effort. Hopefully we don't have to get it that way. The big weirdness that we have is that it is we've got something weird going on, which is the people who are really clamoring for socialism are the people that live in cities. That's unusual. And let's put it this way, man. I'm not worried about who's going to win that civil war. I'm just worried about all the people that are going to die in the meantime. Who's got all the manufacturing power? Who is close to all the manufacturing power? Who is closest to all the other countries that have all the manufacturing power? It's California. It's California. You turn California into a war machine, you lose. Or rather, you turn California into a war machine, it wins. It just wins. It has all the people, it has all the resources, it has all the manufacturing ability. Now, that wasn't necessarily true 20, 30, or 40 years ago, but now it is. Yeah, fifth largest economy in the world, and it ain't Texas. In order for Texas to get that kind of manufacturing ability, it has to start getting real buddy-buddy with Mexico. That's not happening anytime soon. In order for Texas to come close to matching California, it has to make a deal with Mexico. Because they'll be landlocked. Or are they going to get it from China? Yeah, good luck. That's not going to happen. They're not going to break through a blockade through the middle of enemy territory for you. You'll have to take it through, it'll have to go through Canada or Mexico, and that ups the price. Big time. You think they're all not going to want a cut of that? Hell yeah, we'll take a cut of that. That increases the price. Can't really have a war. Can't really have a successful war against a side for who war only benefits the opposition and only harms you. Don't work that way. Don't work that way. So like I said, I'm not worried. I'm worried about civil war because I'm worried about people dying. I'm worried about people dying. I'm worried about Americans dying. But like I said, I'm in California. And I'm not just saying that, and I'm not just saying this. It will just win. Sure, they could launch planes and missiles at us. So can we, just as easily. We have more of them. Ground invasion ain't gonna work. See you coming a mile away. See you coming 100 miles away. There are only a few ways to get through. There are some things I am worried about, though. I'm worried about Florida. Not just culturally, but geographically. Well, what is it? Geologically, I'm worried about Florida. Geologically, I'm worried about Florida. They're in a bad place. All they have to do is steal one of our leftist weather machines. Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah. But like seriously, that's who will be leading their war effort. That's who will be leading their war effort. That's why it's a foregone conclusion and a really bad idea for them. Ah, well. You know what? Let's chill out and watch something.
Pretty pink.
Let's watch some bullshit. How about it, huh? Let's watch some Transformers bullshit.
Hey, my name is Jobby, and we're taking a look at the Fans Toys Rouge. And this figure comes to us from Ball Matrix, actually. And if you don't know who Ball Matrix is, he's a YouTuber, been around for a long time. I basically grew up watching him. So thank you, Ball Matrix, for sending me this figure and for being an inspiration. With that being said, fuck this thing. Rouge here is one of a few third-party versions of RC from Transformers the movie, but she's not the best one, honestly. Mastermind's creations as Leia looks way better, wink wink. And before the Jobby Brigade comes to raid my comments, I am very aware that an official Masterpiece RC is coming out very soon. But looks like someone needs a lift. Out of the box, this figure does not feature an Autobot logo on her chest for obvious legal reasons, and that would normally call for a sticker, but you know what? I'm wasting a sticker on this hoe. Speaking of stickers, there's one on her back, QC31. Now, if QC stands for quality control and 31 is a scale out of 100, I'd say that's pretty accurate. But before we get into the shit, the figure looks good. Pastel, pretty pink, the colors are vibrant but not an eyesore. Proportionally very nice, but some sculpted detail is a little too human for my taste. She has a fully sculpted ass. Shocking, I know, Jobby complaining about ass. I just feel that these organic details clash with the overall mechanical design. Otherwise, I'd say this is a fairly accurate portrayal of G1 RC. At least she doesn't have grandma tits. But she does have a backpack. And it may surprise some of you to know that I'm actually okay with how this looks. With the design of G1 RC, there's no getting around the fact that her figures are gonna have some kind of backpack. Transformation engineering is not at the point where we can compress a car mode that much. But I don't know, I've seen some shit, you know. This is definitely not the worst looking backpack I've ever seen. However, it's the worst feeling. Even MP45 Bumblebee wasn't this fiddly. The backpack doesn't plug in at all, which wouldn't be a problem if the joints holding it up were tighter. You could just breathe on this thing wrong and it comes undone. I suppose to achieve that right amount of third-party black magic, we're gonna have to sacrifice a few more virgins. I'm not a virgin. What's your excuse? These struts are made of die-cast metal, which is probably the only thing keeping it from snapping in two. Other cold parts on the figure include her calves, her thighs, and her chest, which you can untab, screw off, and replace with this more angular, flatter chest. That actually looks better. And minus the backpack, the rest of the figure doesn't feel that bad to handle. I don't feel like dying when I go into pose. Ball joint at the head, hinge joint at the base of the neck, hinge joint at the backpack, of course. Ball joint at the shoulder, allows for rotation, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, swivel here. That pops off so you can replace it with a pair of hands that don't have a peg. Hinge joint at the hand, side to side at the waist, and of course, like any other high quality third party figure, a waist swivel. No waist swivel. Save your rage. That's the least of this figure's troubles. Rotation at the leg. Can't move back that far. Beautiful spread. Thigh swivel. Bend at the knee. Ankle swivel. Can point down. A barely there pivot. And a toe bend. Posability is decent, but good luck on getting anything more dynamic than that. She can stand up normally just fine, but her tiny feet don't do a good job at holding up anything. Oh, you win this time. The sculpting on her face is pretty good. So nice you get it twice for some reason. And you can replace this neutral face with an open mouth, a face with a pair of shades, a face that I could only describe as the cute face, bigger eyes, smaller mouth, and singing face? Complaining face? I'm really stumped here. I don't know what emotion this is supposed to convey. Leave a comment with your best guess. Also, just kidding.
That's a bit
coming, dude. I hate this face. It just comes off as too try-hard and too horny. Horny! And I know that some of you are gonna want me to point this out because you're degenerates, but the titty add-on to this figure is not funny. It's not sexy. It's just gross.
It's
creepy,
weird.
Weird. Fans toys. Why even include this face? You're just encouraging this middle school bullshit.
Wow. Wow, Jobby, I never expected you to be such a simp! Simp!
He criticized sexual objectification. He's a simp. Simp it, bro. Simp it. I hope she sees this. I hope she sees this.
Hierarchically, Jobby is a bitch-ass nigga.
Bruh, y'all know that I have no problem being horny. But if you're gonna be horny, do it right. Speaking of horny, check out my merch, link in the description or through the store tab. You also get a pistol, nicely detailed despite its size, and you get a rifle, which looks nice enough, but my friend Omar pointed out that the barrel kind of looks like a red rocket. That's disgusting, Omar. Why would you say that? And you get a card, bio on the back. This figure's actually kind of tall. Here's Transform Element OP Leader, my previous review, the Metal Build Evangelion Unit 2, Masterpiece Black Arachnia, the superior fembot, and her Transformers movie co-star, Hot Rod. My memory of the movie might be a little hazy, but this does not look right. I feel that she's a little too oversized. But I don't know. Maybe Hot Rod was always a manlet. So even with the wobbly backpack and fairly limited articulation, I'd say the robot mode is not bad. But the figure goes to complete shit with the transformation. These terrible instructions do not help. Untab the chest and all hell breaks loose. I'm like 89... 100% sure that if I gave this a good tug, that would be the end of Fans Toys Rouge. Unplug the shoulders. That allows you to separate this part, which is attached to that beautiful backpack. Swing these out. Pull up the wheels. I don't want to do it. Was this thing even play tested at all? Who thought this was a good idea? Who? Why? It gets worse. You want to feed this panel through this gap, flip it. Now you want to bring the chest up and plug that in. Hey, Jobby from the future here. I forgot to flip out this nose from the chest plate before closing it back up. So the majority of the footage I got of the vehicle mode is going to be mistransformed. And I wasn't about to go back and refilm the whole transformation. Fuck this thing. Flip up the steering wheel, spin this around if it wasn't already. I honestly can't tell anymore. Shift these up, plug them in, position those arms, think about the decisions that led you to this point. And if you thought that was a clusterfuck, let's get into the backpack. Untab that, like it was even tabbed in the first place. Pull this out, all the way out, shift it, plugs in, fold up this panel, and flip that down. Fold up this tab, and that whole thing unfolds. Same thing on the other side. And flip out this fin. Let's get these out of the way, and let's deal with her legs. Extend the waist, push in the hips, open this panel, extend the leg, bend the toe, swivel the thigh, fold that up, swivel the ankle, and all the same things on the other side. Fold up the arms, and open the head to flatten it out. Shift this hinge joint, and cover it up. Motherfuck. Don't forget to flip out these waist panels. Plugs in, and snap that together. The parts on the bottom here don't quite plug in, so you might want to do some adjustments before we call the vehicle mode done. At this point, I'm done with life. I had a terrible time. This is one of the worst transformations that I've
Yeah,
ever
there's
had
a
the
huge
pleasure of
gap
going
in the
through.
front,
And I'm
too.
just gonna say it, slightly controversial, but the bullshittery of this transformation is on par with Bold Form's Gladius. I
Oh,
hate
boy.
it. Now I coined the term cardboard engineering for figures that have all their kibble on their back. But we need a new term for something like this, a figure that relies too much on loose-ass struts and feels like complete noodles to handle. Spaghetti engineering. You know it when you feel it. And I've heard bad things about fans' toys transformations. Even Bolt Matrix himself warned me about it, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. I believe this figure was released early last year, so I hope that the fans' toys quality control has improved since then, because they got some good looking stuff, man. And if anything else, the car mode here looks good. This is honestly the most animation accurate RC that I've seen, besides the upcoming official one, but that robot mode is fucked. And unlike Bold Form's Gladius, that's actually quite solid once you get everything tapped in. And it rolls okay. Size comparisons. Hey, here's MP10 Optimus Prime, the Metal Build Evangelion Unit 2, Black Arachnium, and Hot Rod. The car mode is actually perfectly serviceable, but the trip to get here was complete garbage. It's like if we drove all the way from Washington, D.C. to get to Disneyland in California. Long-ass trip with a lot of suffering, and once you get to your destination, it's fucking Disneyland. It's just okay, right? Fuck Disneyland and fuck this transformation. This figure's not complete garbage, but there's a lot holding her back. I hope this review proved that I'm not just a third-party bootlicker. I'll be doing another Failbox stream next week on Jobby 2, so
All right, let's tell you. Let's get to the gap you said. Oh man, yeah, no, that shit would not made for kids, man. All right, so I want to give you a little update on Babylon, how that's coming along. All right, so this last week, a couple things happened. We started getting the preliminary sketches for the cover. They look really good. You know, you want to see it? It's not done. It's not like 100%, but you want to see it anyway? Do you? You know, we could. I could show you. All right, since you asked. Whoops. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to do this a different way. Hang on a minute. No problem. I guess I'm gonna have to do it like this. Come on, we can get there. We could do this. Okay. All right, fine. I guess we'll do this the old-fashioned way. Or not. Where are you? Nope, not that one. That one. Should have done this from the beginning. And there we go. Like I said, it's just the sketch. The finished will not be done for a few weeks. Yeah, run, DOS, run. Yeah, exactly. So we got this. We got a few other illustrations, but I think I'll save those. And I've been mainly working on the we had to adjust the damage system this week because we were having some problems with the amount of damage that was being done because fire damage became a problem. Like, an adjustment we made earlier in the game made fire too weak. And so we compensated for that and accidentally made it way too powerful. You know, to the point where it's like, hey, does your character permanently die if they're set on fire? Well, here, you're dead now in a single attack. And it's like, well, that's not how that's supposed to work. That is not how that's supposed to work. So we spent the week like adjusting it and finally came up with something. We also found had to adjust the splatter rules. So I've been working on that. I think we're at a point where they work, but now they have to be run through test to make sure that they're okay. After that, we go through more editing on the. We're also going to be doing more editing on the classes to make sure that they're all nice and ready. And also, yeah, and after that'll basically be it. That'll basically be it. Yeah, I'm glad you guys seem to like the cover, or where, the proposed cover. Do. Oh yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Let's see. Cute little cat girl says, although my days started out a bit rough, my neighbor had a mental health crisis where she assaulted a cop. And whoa. Damn. Well. Okay then. Yeah. George Virgin's like, take my money now. I'll take your money when when we're ready. Because while this is all going on, I've had to working on that Kickstarter page and that pitch and everything and trying to get everything together. Oh, good Lord. I don't know why that shit's such a headache. Like, you almost need a specialist just for that, man. Like, if I had been able to pull this off like 4 years ago, it wouldn't have needed to be this complicated. But like, it's not 4 years ago, so now, bar's a little higher. Hopefully, it will all work out. I definitely want it to. I definitely want it to all work out. Yeah, Kickstarter guru. Yeah, no, I'm. Hopefully, this will give me everything. Hopefully, we'll learn everything we need for the second one. Chances are that will be a lot simpler. The second Kickstarter will be for a much smaller book, first of all. That will be most likely be the Misfits of Science, which will introduce the Hydes and the Hydes, the Witchborn, and the Frankensteins. I do have a question. Are you guys thinking of having in novels to the setting? There might eventually be a short story collection. But novels, I think, is a long way off. You know, because I'm not going to have time to write a novel. And I've never written a novel before. So who knows how long that would take me. So it'd have to be somebody else. I have a friend who is a writer, but I don't think he wants to write an entire novel. I think he would rather write a series of short stories. That's a maybe for a second edition release kind of thing. You know, that's what we got. Like, and I'll be honest, I think I would rather go in a slightly different direction. I think I might actually prefer to go into a toy direction. Is the game more steampunk or more D&D? Boy, have you not been paying attention to this part. Okay, no, it is not steampunk. Like, at all. It's set in the modern world. Like, it's set on Earth in, like, 2025 thereabouts. And the idea is that you're playing a monster in the modern day. While evil angels are trying to kill you. We had a steampunk property we were working on, but that was a long time ago. It was all about time travel. I mean, she's been a real danger to the rest of the house I live in. Oh, well, that's no good. Yeah, what was she doing? So along the Anomaly lines, more like cult. More like cult or Shinigami Tensei. Yeah, what's your neighbor doing that he's a danger to the house, to your house? Because the game is nothing like a nominee. Like, you are not playing angels. You are playing demons, if anything. And I know you could play demons in an Omine, but, like, it's not the same. World of Darkness with Shadowrun Punkness, yeah, it's probably a little more accurate. That's probably a little bit closer. You know, Shadowrun is a game that is a setting that I really, really, really love. The game system's always been shit, and I would love to get my hands on that property and do it upright. Because I think we could make a system that would really, really, really sing for Shadowrun. You know, keeping a lot of the crunch, but making it much simpler, a much easier flow. You know, a simpler basic system that you can build all little subsystems on top of. Like, for one, I would definitely import this magic system we've created for Babylon. A lot more versatile. You know, we built the magic system with a lot of versatility in mind. Like, the individual spells all have, like, they're a collection of effects that you can do. You know, they're actually detailed out. So it's not like you would have, like, Fireball, Fire Shield, Fire Bolt. No. No. You just have Pyromancy. Now, and it just covers everything. Just covers fire everything. You've been watching Turbo Kid on Tubi? Wait, I thought, did they do a show or something? Look at paperback physical copy would be cheaper than hardback. Well, it depends on how it's made, and yes, it is cheaper. And that's something we're definitely looking into. Like, we've got several levels. If we get our highest level, that's like full-sized hardcover book. But one of the intermediate levels is half-size paperback, essentially. For example, like these Pathfinder Pocket Editions have been an inspiration because these are cheaper because they are basically the size of the full-sized book cut in half. You know, if you put two of these, that's like the main book. So that's how they saved money on that, because it uses less paper, you know. And a soft cover is cheaper than a hardcover. It's just a question of by how much. You know, usually you're not necessarily spending a lot to make a hardcover, but if the physical book is smaller and a soft cover, then there you go. You know, exactly. Like, yeah, it all costs. Everything costs. So magic in your game is deeper, really. Like, you can actually get creative. It's set up so that each spell can be used in one of several different ways. But that you have like this complete, a spell is like a complete array of powers. Oh, she's screaming and threatening to kill people. Oh, that's awful. That is no good. Okay. Well, that's about it for the Babylon update. I think that at this point, it's been about 2 hours. That's a good, nice stream. I think I shall retreat for now. I should have asked everybody for a donation earlier on, but I didn't. But I didn't. I forgot to. Maybe I'll remember more next time. I'm bad at that. Apparently, and my bank account, it shows in my bank account that I am bad at asking for money. I need to get better at that. All right, but until next time, remember, guys, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. Remember, I love y'all very much. So until next time, which will probably be tomorrow, remember, Satan and I love y'all very much.